Hello, everyone. I am India Davis with the India Davis Real Estate Team, and I am here today to explain the IABS, or Information About Brokerage Services form. And this form, just so that you're aware, is something that we are required as realtors to present to all clients really at the first meeting or interaction that we have. And it explains a little bit about what we do and what our responsibilities are to our clients as realtors. So I just wanted to come and explain this. You can actually look over this form and read it before we actually even get together so that you have an idea of everything that it says here and maybe have questions that we can go through at the time that we meet. The first part is explaining what is a broker and what is a sales agent. So I work for Keller Williams Realty out of the South Lake office, and they are my overseeing brokerage. And then I have a broker, her name is Ann LaCusta, and she is in charge of me as a sales agent and all the other agents in our office that are not brokers. We also then have a supervising broker, and his name is Joe Hamilton. So that gives you a little bit of idea of what the differences there are. And then it talks a little bit about what my duties are to my clients as a sales representative. And the first is that I am your fiduciary, which means that I put your needs ahead of my own, and I make sure that I'm acting in your best interest at all times throughout a transaction, whether that's you're listing a home or you're buying a property. The second is that we provide you with information, any material information that we have on the property, that we share that with you and make sure that you're well versed and well informed about the property and everything going along with it. We also, of course, answer questions and present your offers and counter offers on both sides of the transaction, whether you're on the selling side or the buying side. And then we treat all parties with honesty and fairly and with respect and integrity. That is part of our code of conduct that comes with our licensing, that we make sure that we're upholding a certain standard of care for our clients. The second part of this is talking a little bit about whether I'm representing you as a seller or representing you as a buyer. And then the midsection talks a little bit about the word intermediary. Now, intermediary is if I were to be representing both sides of that transaction. So let's say I have a listing and one of my buyers who I'm working with as a client wants to make an offer on that particular listing. I could become an intermediary in that situation and represent both the seller and the buyer. That is not something I typically do because in that situation, I then have to become Switzerland and I'm not able to give advice to either the sell side or the buy side. My preference in that situation would be to refer typically the buyer to another colleague of mine who could then become their fiduciary and give them advice and all of the things. And then I would stay on the listing side of things and we would go through the transaction that way. Intermediary also means that there could be a situation that the listing and the buyer are both represented by agents who are under Keller Williams South Lake's umbrella of brokerage. Typically, that is something that we see quite often. We work with colleagues of ours from our office quite often, and that is just something we have to disclose to our clients to ensure they're aware. Going down on this form just a little bit, it talks a little bit about disagreements, disputes, and things like that, and what would happen if there ever were to become a disagreement or a dispute. And it provides the name and contact information for Keller Williams, Ann LaCusta, who is my broker, Joe Hamilton, who is our supervising broker, and then, of course, my information. So this form, again, is just really stating what my duties are to you as a real estate agent and how I act on your behalf if you become a client of mine. I hope that helps, and we'll talk more about these forms when we're together.